Hello, welcome to Spark Joy Astrology. I hope you're having a great Friday. It is June 23rd, 2023, and in spirit of introducing you to which planet rules the day of the week, as I've been doing in previous videos this week, Friday, friends, or Friday, is ruled by Venus. It's definitely a Friday because she's my favorite. She represents emotional quality around relationship, all the things we find beautiful, and creativity, as well as finances. So you oftentimes find people getting paid on a Friday. It's a beautiful energy, friends, right? Going out on a Friday with your friends. Ooh, it's good stuff. And Venus is also lending her energy to this Friday through multiple aspects called a sextile. Sextiles are by nature of Venus. She blends her energy into this aspect, and it's a 60-degree aspect. So when a planet is 3 houses away from another planet, that is that 60-degree aspect, and that is a sextile. So we're going to dive into our first sextile of the day. It is a aspect that's actually been in play at an exact degree alignment of 7 degrees since June 19th. You probably know what I'm going to say if you've been with me, because I've been talking about it every day since then. And this is the sextile between Jupiter in Taurus at 7 degrees and Pisces, or rather Saturn in Pisces at 7 degrees. And this aspect, friends, is a big one. When these two come together every 20 years in a conjunction, they start a whole new cycle. They did this in December of 2020. So we are working on going into our self-discipline and working on expanding that in new ways so that we can really step into maybe a new career. Really, wherever Saturn is in your house system is pointing you to where this maturity up level is happening at. So check out your own chart, friends, to know that layer, because it's an important one. Okay, the next aspect that's already in play as of yesterday, this happened exact, and it is between Chiron and Mars. Chiron is at 19 degrees of Aries, and Mars is at 19 degrees of Leo. They are making a trine aspect today, which is a nature of Jupiter. Jupiter is that expansive, benevolent, lucky and abundant energy. And so with Jupiter blessing Chiron and Mars, we have some action around healing, friends. Definitely some serious healing happening in the house of Leo, because you have the lovers. Our yin and yang energy has been hanging out with Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is making us look at fears around our own feminine and masculine nature, as well as external experiences with the masculine and the feminine. This week being a little bit more focused on the masculine, because Mars has been hanging out really 1 degree away from Black Moon Lilith all week. Next week they do a do-si-do, and on the 27th Venus takes Black Moon Lilith by arm and they hang out. So we'll work more into those feminine aspects of fear. The great part of Black Moon Lilith is if we work through the fears, friends, we up-level into our sovereignty, into our independence, and we really transmute those fears that hold us back. So I hope you're doing your work when anything that rubs you the wrong way is coming up this week. All right, a neat thing also to know about this is that Black Moon Lilith is at 18 degrees. And once she moves into 19 degrees, she's going to make that trine to Chiron. So really beautiful, expansive guru, so healing teacher energy around Mars and then Black Moon Lilith. Whew, so that's some potent energy, friends. But let's start now with what's gone exact today. And remember, when I say exact, that's when they come into alignment by degree, but these are energy peaks. There is definitely a gradual up and down to that peak. So we'll feel it for multiple days, all right? Okay, so diving into midnight. At midnight, we had a boost to our vitality and our self-expression when the North Node, which is in Jupiter, made a sextile, hello Venus, to our Sun. This was at 1 degrees. It is not exact though, friends. This was when the moment that the North Node moved from 2 degrees to 1 degree. So it's actually at 1 degrees and 59 minutes. And our lovely moon, or rather sun, is at 1 degree 33 minutes. So they're not exact, but I wanted to throw this in just because it is definitely in play, but because it's the North Node, which we've been working with really intensely since May, when Jupiter landed on that North Node and expanded it exponentially. Okay, friends, so really what this energy gives us is being in the right place at the right time kind of vibes. So experiences that really enrich our self-expression and our vitality. The sun representing those things, our life path and purpose, our vitality, our shininess, friends. So definitely an up level when a sextile is involved and working to our North Node, our destiny and our purpose. So that's a beautiful aspect to start the day off with. Then we move into a bit more challenging one at 4 a.m., but it's a check-in with our moon. Our moon is at 29 degrees now, and she is coming into a quincunx, or an inconjunct aspect. This is a 150 degree aspect, meaning they are 6 houses away from one another. And it's a challenging one, friends. It's where the planets actually don't have a good sight line. So they can't really communicate well. They're blind from one another. So it's a bit of a challenge. And what we're looking at here with this quincunx is Pluto. The moon quincunx Pluto at 29 degrees, and Pluto is retrograde. And wherever Capricorn is in your house system, we are really working on some capstone lessons, because Capricorn has, gosh, friends, we've had Pluto in Capricorn since 2008. And if you remember, he's just recently retrograded back into Capricorn, but was in Aquarius for 3 months in March, starting in March, giving us a little flair of what that next Pluto cycle will be about. But now that Pluto's back in Capricorn at 29 degrees, we're revisiting that cycle that began in 2008. So wherever Capricorn is in your house system, those are the themes you're working with. But our moon is now checking in with any fears around this cycle. You know, Black Moon Lilith has been hanging out in Leo, and that's where the moon is at this anaretic degree, 29 degrees of Leo. So she is going to ask us today to look at any emotional baggage around fears and anxieties. And maybe it's around possessiveness, jealousy. That's what Pluto brings into play. And the moon being our most intimate relationships, including our own body, we could really be working with some challenging energy here. Emotional outbursts that come out of nowhere could be potential today. So just be gentle around 4 a.m. You're probably asleep, which is a nice thing to be, but 4 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, this definitely was the wave we were riding, friends. So what kind of fears can you release when it comes to all of these Leo topics that we've been lovelily dealing with? Mars and Venus in Leo is always a spicy time, friends. All right, so our moon checked in at that last degree and then moves into Virgo. This happens at 4:34 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I keep saying standard, but it's actually Mountain Daylight Time, or whatever it is, when our clocks have been moved out of that Mountain Standard Time. So just so you know, little tidbit. But okay, let's get back to our moon. She is now in Virgo, and Virgo is a sign I know well. It's where my rising is. But a Virgo is all about those fine, minute details of life. So getting into your wellness routines. What do you do every day? Virgo is about wellness and the medicine woman of the zodiac. What the Virgin, represented by Virgo, means is sovereignty. A long time ago, a virgin meant an independent woman that was in charge of her own sexuality and just a beautiful sovereign person. So Virgo asks you to take responsibility for your own well-being, for your health, for your routines. It is the caretaker energy of the entire zodiac. The shadow side of this is getting a little too analytical and critical with those fine, minute details. So perfectionism is definitely something we deal with. And when our moon is moving through Virgo, we can become critical of our own selves or those around us, our closest intimate partners. So something to work out there, friends. But this energy is beautiful mental energy, working through those details, good for work pursuits, service, helping others. But it is a beautiful energy to have our moon move through after we've just dealt with all of that black moon Lilith, Venus, Mars stuff. So how can you give yourself some self-love in this day? And it is a lovely thing to anchor in because we work with a couple more really challenging aspects today. One more coming up next, and that's at 5:10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And our moon now at 0 degrees of Virgo is squaring an asteroid, Vesta. So this is considered a minor aspect because it is a asteroid involved. And actually, we should back up and say that the quincunx is also a minor, if I didn't get to it, minor aspect. So we haven't really had any major aspects yet, unless you want to consider Virgo now housing the moon. Okay, so let's get back into this square. The moon at 0 degrees of Virgo is squaring Vesta, who's at 0 degrees of Gemini. She just moved into Gemini. So our emotional nature is feeling some conflict, some challenge around our spiritual connection, things that light us up in life. So today it is a good day to look at any doubts around your spiritual connection to your higher mission, right? That sextile of Saturn to Jupiter also lends to this. So how can we up-level our responsible nature? Well, we look at those things that hold us back, that don't allow us to really get into that connection. So it is a good time to not get too caught up in your spiritual connection, though, because Vesta represents that energy. And when our moon is squaring it, there is some challenge in that particular connection. So definitely a time to just do the work by looking at what comes up rather than trying to get into a meditative practice, and you might find that's a little more challenging on this day. Okay, so the next aspect is another minor aspect because it includes an asteroid, but it is a sextile. Hello, Venus. Our moon still at 0 degrees, but a few more minutes later is now making a sextile to Juno, who is at 0 degrees of Cancer. She's right next to the moon. Remember, this energy will be, or rather sun, blended with that vitality energy. So our moon sextiling Juno. This brings in deep emotional connections, friends, the desire to commit to ourselves and maybe even a partner or a business partner, but really working on solid foundations around relationships today. This is a beautiful flowing energy, so it is a great time to reach out and emotionally connect with those that you feel closest to and committed to. And that is at 5:45 a.m. Mountain Standard or Mountain Daylight Time. Ooh, I caught myself. Yes. All right, and because the moon, our sun is right next to Juno, the next aspect is as the moon moves one more degree into Virgo, she sextiles the sun at 1 degree of Cancer. So here's this flow between yin, our moon, and yang, our sun. There is this balance that's happening, and because it's that aspect of Venus, it is a flowing, harmonious aspect that is possible, friends. This is a dreamy one. It's a dreamy, sensitive connection to our intuition, but that's also balanced with our vitality and our drive and our go energy. So it's a beautiful time at 8:23 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time today to really take a moment to feel yourself, to breathe and drop your head, your mind into your heart, and to allow that heart-mind balance, that coherence to take place in the morning, or throughout the day. These do linger, friends. But I think what is so beautiful about this energy is that because our moon is in Virgo, this earthy feminine sign, and our sun is in Cancer, this watery feminine sign, we're really able to tune in on a very deep level to our intuition. It's a beautiful one, friends, which leads us into a challenging one. So, we're finding this balance so that we can now enter into the next aspect with a bit more maturity. All right, this next one is at 7:06 p.m., so we jump all the way to the end of the day almost, as our moon makes it to 7 degrees. Here at 7 degrees of Virgo, she is exactly opposite Saturn, who is retrograde in Pisces. Here's a challenging one, friends. Whenever a planet and another planet are directly opposite from one another, it's 180 degrees, and it's called an opposition. This is an aspect by the nature of Saturn. Saturn brings in lessons, constriction, restriction. It makes you want to look at your boundaries and your responsibilities. It is maturity energy, friends. When the moon opposes Saturn, and Saturn being retrograde means really working inwardly with this energy, we are working with some challenge, right? Moon is our emotions. Saturn, constriction, restriction. There is the potential for sadness today, depression, dark feelings, loneliness. And the great thing about astrology and these lovely updates for you is to know that you have this beautiful treasure trove of balanced energy that's already been brought in on this day. So how do you traverse this moon opposite Saturn in a beautiful way? Well, friends, you take time out. It is a great night to maybe find isolation, to take advantage of this particular aspect and really get into your own intuitive nature, right? We have so much goodness with that intuition today. So where can you use this time to get alone and to focus, to connect into your higher wisdom, into that maturity that is guiding you into this expansive new version of you? Hello, sextile of Jupiter and Saturn. All right, so definitely know that at around 7:06 p.m. tonight, friends, there is a bit of a more challenging energy rolling in, and the more that you can just be aware of that, the better. Our next aspect is the last one of the day at 8:52 p.m. Our moon, still at 7 degrees of Virgo, is sextiling Jupiter. Or no, not sextiling. I just want to say that because I want to end it with Venus one more time. But it's actually Jupiter who's helping us out with this aspect. We have a trine, 120-degree aspect, which is 5 houses away. So our moon is 5 houses away from Jupiter. And Jupiter, that lovely expansive energy, is now asking our moon to harmonize, to up-level, to expand on all of that intuitive wisdom that we gleaned. We really hopefully sat with that Saturn energy, with that retrograde inward energy, and worked with it, friends, so that now at this last aspect, we're able to really amplify it out. This is awesome energy. We have two feminine friends coming back together. So Taurus is also a feminine sign, and it's an earth sign. And Virgo, feminine earth, we now have really solid energy at the end of the day. Emotional expansion, friends. This is a great time to get honest with yourself, with your friends, with your partners. Good feelings are abounding. We got adventurous energy as well because we have Jupiter involved. But this grounding earth element is so nurturing, so nurturing. Oh, so with all of that said, may this nurturing moon in Virgo bless you today with an up-level version of you through your routines, through all of those minute details in your day-to-day life. Sending you so much love, friends, and I'll see you tomorrow on Saturday. Mwah.